Welcome to The Other Side, where we take a ride each week and discuss our guests' personal journey, their hard work, sacrifice, struggles and failures, along with their passion, dedication, and determination. This is The Other Side. This is the second part of our interview with POD guitarist, the one and only, Marcos Curiel.
And it's funny because only native San Diegans and Raza that understand the culture and the way that the city is laid out know that stuff.
Right.
When I tell people, no, I grew up in a neighborhood called Logan Heights, and then my mom, bless her soul, she was like, we're going to get us out of here. We're moving to National City.
I was going to say just as a punchline. No disrespect,
no,
but I'm
just
saying, you know how it is.
But then we are in Chula Vista, National City, Chula Vista, and
right.
then I've just been a kid from basically Chula Vista down to Logan. My counterparts in the band, Sonny and Wov, are from like Montgomery area.
Okay.
And Cedro and stuff. So
right.
They were like, dude, you're not really from Southtown. I go, I'm from Southtown. Anything from downtown south is Southtown. And there's a stigma.
Yep.
All the people, like when we would play shows at Soma, Glenn, the owner at the time, I don't know if he still owns it. He was like, I want to get the local. This is when the local scene was booming. There was 2,000-3,000 people coming just to see local bands. But you also had POD representing South, Blink-182 representing the North, Switchfoot representing the North, Sprung Monkey was representing East County. Yeah, so if you think about it, he was putting these shows together purposely to attract those parts of town.
Mm-hmm.
And oh man, we'd be bringing the neighborhood out, dude. They don't know how to mosh or nothing. They're throwing putazos, fighting, dude. And we'd have to stop our show and be like, dude, that
was mashing, bro.
It's moshing. You can't be punching people, man. Like,
dude, that's why they don't take us out. We don't know how to behave, bro.
You know, because we came from all our friends were a couple of our friends were in a rap group called Legion of Doom. I remember them from down Cedro. They were like a rap group. You know, and then there was Aztec Tribe, National City. Like there was a lot of that, dude. And we were the rock band.
Yeah.
From down there. And to this day, we always like, dude, there's not been a really lower definition kind of did it, but the way we did it from South Bay, that's where a lot of people are like down there, like, dude, you guys freaking came out of Southtown, South State.
Which is, dude,
you know?
I think about that all the time because there's something to be said for that. Like imagine like when you were over there in Europe with Korn. I mean, you're at the end of the day, you're from South San Diego.
Yeah.
And you're putting San Diego and South San Diego on the map.
And we still do it. We rep it worldwide, man. And people buy San Diego. They were buying Chargers gear, Padres gears, the SD hats, and we'll show up to South America. We'll show up to places in Europe, and we're like, dude, are you from San Diego? No, I'm just a fan, and I like the hat, and I buy the hat because you guys wear it. And we're like, what the heck?
Yeah.
Crazy. We'll be signing them and everything. Same with the tribal stuff. And
right.
We're like, that's all SD.
Yeah, man.
It's a trip, man.
But yeah, that must feel good, right?
We joke around and say, man, we need to get some commissions over here.
That would feel a little bit better. Hey, but it's funny that you said that you're, Sonny and them, that San Isidro, because it is. I know that I have a cousin, and San Isidro is like a different little region, a different little vibe, and they're really prideful, like, oh no, man, Isidro,
man, yeah. Dude, I just went to a bar down there where they I guess they have a lot of rock in Espanol.
Yeah, I love it.
It's called Hoppy Days. Have you ever been there?
No, man.
And I was like, dude, they have shows here? And a friend of mine, she's like a Latin publicist for she's worked with Maná, Juanes. She's like,
wow.
in the whole, I'm not well versed in rock in Espanol.
Really?
So I know the big names,
mm-hmm.
but I don't know every song. So right. I'm sitting there going, what's this? And this is this song. And then I was just tripping out. I was like, what? There's a club like a bar down here that's popping that people can play at, and it's just a trip. And that was down off of Bayer Boulevard. Yeah.
Wow, man, I'm gonna look for it.
Hoppy Days.
Hoppy Days,
like in hops and beer, whatever.
Right.
Yeah.
Hey, so let me ask about that. Obviously with Mexican descent, did you ever try to integrate that into your music, or just look into your past and your mariachi? I mean,
yeah. Well, my guitar playing's always I've always thrown a little bit of Latin. I mean, you don't hear it on the singles much, mm-hmm. but if you listen to our records, I've always kind of incorporated some Latin vibe, and people have actually noticed it. I still have like friends from Argentina and down south that they recognize it, but I never was like, you know, like over the top about it because I was just putting little teasers in there.
Right.
Like I'll do like flamenco guitar and stuff like that. But yeah, man. What was I gonna say? I was just thinking about that today because I studied before I dropped out of college, Chicano cultures.
Oh, nice.
And,
Yeah.
you know, you get into that whole thing with, well, you're not Chicano, you're Mexican.
Yeah.
Dude. And I'm like, well, listen, man, I'm American because I was born here, so I'm technically a Chicano.
Yeah.
You're a Mexican, so you were born in Mexico.
Right.
And we get into that whole debate. I'm not Mexican enough for the Mexicans.
Whoa,
and I'm too Mexican for some of the white folk. And
Yes.
it's just a trip, man. But it got me thinking because I was seeing the rivalry between Dodger fans and Padre fans.
Yeah.
And I was thinking about this yesterday, and I said, it's so messed up, man. Like, we like to make things, put boundaries on things and make it about almost like some gang stuff. And it's so ignorant, where if we took that same energy as a gente, as a people, and we became united, we would be a force to be reckoned with.
Oh, yeah. Sky's the limit.
But that's the same thing with gangs. They're claiming a street that's owned by the government. You know what I mean? And I'm just like, man, someone needs to educate. And I just feel that, and I'm not even just talking race, I'm just talking culture, I'm talking unity amongst the people, dude.
Absolutely. I mean, but you hit it right on the head. I mean, education is key. And and taking now, especially nowadays, I tell people, take the time to sit down and talk to somebody.
Mm-hmm.
You know, especially if they're not part of your culture. It'll be way harder for me to dismiss you or to, you know, whatever, think less of you if we had a conversation and at least I try to understand where you're coming from, you know. And but when you don't, and when you're just being fed all this stuff and you are automatically just, you know, dismiss somebody because it's easy.
Oh,
But-
it happens
but-
to me all the time.
but-
The tattoos, the way I dress, whatever. People would like to judge a book by its cover all the time.
Absolutely, yeah.
And that's one of the struggles being a musician, because that's already a stigma in itself. You start dating a beautiful girl, and then the family meets you, like, oh no, mija, this guy's got 2 kids already, or you know, or he's a musician, he's always gone. And then it's not just them, it's their girlfriends. You don't think he's out messing around with girls out there, which is all very true. But that doesn't mean they get to know you that that's not your true character. You know what I'm saying? So there's a struggle with everything, dude.
Yeah, absolutely.
And that is something that I think we're missing right now in our country, is meeting in the middle. There's too many people that want to be right, and I call it dead right.
Right.
You could be standing in dead wrong, and you want to be dead right.
Right.
And it's like, just because it doesn't fit your agenda, it's like, man, let's meet in the middle so that we can work together as a people and as a nation. And I think that's being missed, and it's sad.
It is sad, man. And you're I agree with you. I mean,
Because I'm a moderate, dude. I'm not too right. I'm not too left.
You know, I mean, and you don't have to change my mind, and I don't have to change yours. But
No.
at least, you know, I tell people, hey, bro, just be kind to people.
Mm-hmm.
Just don't be an a-hole, you know.
But dude, this is it right here. It's not about being right. It's about doing what's right.
Yeah.
That's the truth, man.
Mhm.
That's the straight up
If
truth.
we could get back to that, we'd have a different country
Yeah.
than we have right now, for sure.
The problem is everyone wants to be right, and no one wants to give an inch because they think if I give an inch, they're gonna take a mile.
Yeah.
Right.
Nah, man, it's
I get flack on both ends. I've been called a liberal. I've been called a bleeding heart.
that's the thing. We're
And I'm
all
like-
about labels nowadays. You
Yeah,
can't
and
you
I'm
can't
just
have
like-
you can't make an an opinion on something because right away, oh, somebody's gonna label you somebody, and that's it. And
Yeah.
they're very dogmatic on their way of thinking. You know, instead of
Well, there's hypocrisy there for sure too, man. And
Yeah.
that's where you're like, what? Come
man,
on.
the way I see it, I tell people, enjoy the ride, bro. It'll soon be over, so might as well make
Well,
the
it's
best of
not
it.
something new. It's just more. It's more magnified because we have social media and
Mhm.
the news, and you hear about it instantly. Somebody dies, everyone's posting a picture about, oh man, rest in peace.
Right.
The latest one was Shock G.
Yes. Oh,
And-
Humpty
and,
Dump.
you know, yeah, dude, and rest in peace. But I was just like, look at how quick information travels. It could be false too.
Yeah. Absolutely.
You know.
But you know, it's one of those things that hopefully that's part of the this thing that we're doing right here, that we want to get people to actually know people and take a minute, man. That doesn't take long, and we have way more in common than not. That's it. That's what's funny about it. I think it's all a joke, actually, if you think about it. We have so many things in common. Everything in common is just a couple things here and there, and that's all right.
Yeah.
That's all right. You can have your own opinion, you can have your own belief, but just don't be an asshole
But
towards
a
me.
lot
That's
of
it.
people don't understand that a lot of those beliefs and a lot of that mental, the way people think, is they were taught it.
Oh yeah.
And you gotta kind of look outside the box and be like, hey, that person doesn't necessarily believe like me. Now, hate's hate, dude.
Oh yeah.
If someone's being a hater and just hating, being a racist a-hole, dude, you're wrong. I don't care what you say, right? That's just me. But at the same time, when someone's trying to defend hate and they're saying the sky's red when it's blue, I'm sitting here going, dude, I can't even talk to you, man.
Right. We're on a different page.
Yeah, so then you have to just walk away.
Yeah.
Be like, I can't talk to you, bro. I can't even. And that's when you get to choose your friends. That's where you have your power. You know what? I don't want to hang out with this guy. Well, you never hang out with me. What are you some jerk? Dude, like I don't vibe with you with what you're spitting, bro.
Yeah, that's it. That's
We
it.
don't, we're not. We don't have nothing in common.
Yeah, just walk away.
And I'm not gonna sit here and try to degrade you and put you down, but I just don't agree with your stance on things. You know what I mean?
And that's it.
Because to me, it's all about vibrations, and like the vibrations of this show,
I
the vibrations from my friend Chewy, our mutual friend, when he talked about the show, I was like, dude, I'm down. And you guys are freaking cool dudes, and I appreciate that you guys even wanted me on your show.
No, man. Thanks for doing this,
It's our
man.
pleasure,
We love
man.
Chewy. And speaking of Chewy and tattoos, Chewy Espinosa, our very good friend, man, from Vital Lines Tattoo. But it was funny because you said earlier, oh, you meet somebody and then you come in with tattoos, and I would say he's not all that bad. He's got Pac-Man right there, bro.
Well, these are about a year and a half old, and where they're placed at, I don't know if you'll be able to see them on the camera, but you can go to my Instagram and you'll get a close up on them. But they fade, and this is my third pass at it.
Touch up. Wow.
And
Does it hurt right there, bro?
it doesn't.
No.
And that's why I'm wondering, do you going deep enough? Because and he's I'm going deep, dude. And I'm like, all right, cool.
Because I don't want to come back in a month, bro.
I know, so I've been being super babying them. I've been putting ointment on them, like you making sure that they don't dry up. Because once they start drying up and cracking, that's when I think you lose some color.
When'd you get your first tattoo?
Ooh, that's a story in itself. When I was 17,
Wow.
with a tattoo gun, like a homemade one.
Holy shit. Like,
With Pelican ink,
yeah.
like from the like Office Depot, and then a Bic, the lead pencil Bic housing, and then a guitar string with a motor from a tape deck.
A guitar string, huh?
Wow, that was a rig right there.
It was, and check this out, it would turn on with a 9-volt battery.
Oh,
Yeah.
you would make you make contact
Yeah,
to
and
create that.
he would do that, and we did. It's right here, man. And it's the biggest piece of crap ever because I had to tell him to stop because at the time I was trying to get one of those like tribal tattoos.
Right.
Back I was 17. And so if you look at the tattoo and itself, you're like, you could see where he stopped because I was like, dude, you're messing me up. Stop. And it was all painful because the ink wasn't going in that well because it's like a homemade gun. So I always say to myself, I'm gonna get this removed and that's gonna hurt. That hurts like way more than getting a tattoo, and then go get something dope right there.
I mean, how come you don't? Speaking of Chewy, I've seen some of his work where he covers old bad
It's just
stuff.
I could probably do that, but it's black, like a lot of black, so he's gonna have to do something
Yeah.
really black. And I'm like, I want more detail right here,
Now I don't have any ink on me. And,
It's not for everybody. Just like
Right.
smoking weed's not for everybody.
Right.
I say, hey man, I don't judge you if you don't smoke. You judge me if I do. If you don't have tattoos, I don't judge you. You don't
Yeah.
judge me.
No. It's all good.
Because next time I see you, he's gonna have one right here on his face. So I'll post
Right,
Malone.
all over my neck and my forehead.
Pac-Man against you.
Dude. Speaking of that, like, it's funny. Like a lot of these cats now, like, have all kinds of shit all over their
Yeah.
face, and I mean,
I mean,
I
I
don't know if
can't
it's a
talk 'cause
good look.
I got my neck. And
No, yeah,
that
but-
was extreme back then. Now it's like the face.
Yeah. Now it's like, oh, the neck, well, bro, it's over here.
Well,
like on
it's-
top of their
I
eyebrows.
always told myself I'd never get, but I always talked about if I did, it would be a little area right here, but it ain't covering my face
Mhm.
because I like what God gave me, dude. So it's kind of like sometimes I feel like these guys are expressing how they feel inside. This is just an opinion.
Right.
So they're trying to cover it up. And I'm like, why would you do that? But I'm not judging them.
No, everybody, I mean, it's like anything else. I mean, to each his own. But let me ask you this: like, you went through that experience, and because I got a bunch of family, and
I was 17 when I got that, by the way, to answer your question.
Right.
And my mom, I hid it from her. And one day, this breaks my heart to this day, but I remember I was just not paying attention, and it was peeping out of my shirt. And she's all, "What's that?" And I go, "What's what?" "That." She grabs my shirt, and I'm all, "Oh." She's all, "I told you couldn't get no tattoos till you moved out." And I go, "Oh man," and she started crying. And that's, you feel like she wasn't mad anymore. She was just disappointed.
Oh, and that's worse.
No. And so I woke up in the middle of the night, and I could hear her weeping, get some water from them. I was like, damn, man, just for a tattoo? But she came around, and later, obviously, I'm way more attached. She's all, "You know what? I love you just the way you are, son. I think that's your thing. It's amazing." I got a lot of friends that actually say weird things about, "Oh, look at all the tattoo," but she's all,
especially
my
old school.
Yeah, she's all, "But my son now, dude, everybody has a tattoo."
Right,
Yeah.
and that's
Back then it was like,
dude. Which I have nothing against tattoos, and actually, I think they're super cool. But there's gonna be a lot of people making a lot of money removing tattoos in about 10.
oh, there already are.
Right? Because people went crazy.
Mm-hmm.
And now they're thinking like, oh shit, this is forever. But let me ask you this, because people talk about like you get one and then you get another one and
Like
then you get
Dorito
another
chips.
one, because it's like a weird kind of a addiction. Not an addiction, but it's like a high or something, right?
Well, it's funny because I have, I'm not going to mention her name, but an ex-girlfriend. And she was like, "Oh man, I just need to get this one tattoo to cover a scar that she had right here on her hip." Because she had something like a little mass removed a long time ago. She's like, "I just don't like my scar." I was like, "All right." And she's like, "But that's all I want, because I don't want to be a bulletin," or whatever she calls it, some type of board with all these little marks.
Right.
Well, as time progressed, and she started looking at it in the mirror, she's like, "I think I want to add butterflies over here." And I was like, looking at her, I go, "Oh, really? Didn't I tell you they're like Dorito chips?" I go, "Eventually, I'm going to see you're going to have your whole leg done. And I'm going to be like,
Freaking sleeve.
look at what I started." I'm not with that girl anymore, but it was really funny just to see that come into fruition, dude. I was like, it's true. Because I remember when I got my first one, I was like, "Oh, dude, I can't wait till I get one here." And then I look in the mirror and be like, "Dude, I'm going to get one right here."
What was your most painful one? What part of the body is
dude,
the most painful?
Well, for me, the spine, right on the spine, because there's nerves, and you can feel like things like in weird places when you're like, "Oh, dude, up here," like just weird ass places. But the sternum,
Ay, way.
it's weird. I don't like the way it feels. You're like, "Oh, dude, hurry up!" And then you feel like little nerve endings in different parts of your body going off while that needle's going in there.
Wow.
Yeah.
Because I heard that like on the side and right here too.
That's not that bad.
No?
This was a little weird, right up in this little ditch area where you I don't know what you would call this area, but
Like where your trachea is.
yeah,
that.
right here, dude. That wasn't comfortable because you couldn't swallow. It's like, okay, hold on, I'm gonna hold hold my breath, but not
Right,
swallow.
yeah, you can, because it'll
And then
move.
you go, okay,
Take a break.
yeah.
That's a trip.
But dude, I've been getting tattooed since the early '90s when we were doing it when it wasn't that popular.
Matter of fact, it was probably a little against culture or whatever.
Well, it was even against like coming from a Catholic or Christian background. Our family was like, "Hey,
that's
like,
God's body. You can't mess with it."
But we were street kids, man, from the neighborhood. We were like, "That's cool." My dad had tattoos, so I was like, "I can't wait to get one pop." But he had like the señora with the sombrero and the big chichis.
He didn't have that big old Aztec with the lady right there.
No, I love that. That's a good piece of art.
I know, but it's funny, but because like I told you, we got a bunch of friends, and they all have it's actually, especially nowadays, talk about something like Chewy, man.
Yeah.
It's incredible.
But he doesn't have any.
No, bro. We had him, and it blew me away because I know his cousin is my neighbor.
Mm-hmm.
So, and he told me that, like, really, because the first thing you think about when you say tattoo artist, say a guy with a sleeve or whatever,
Yeah.
right? Dude, it blows me away that
It's
he
like-
doesn't have any.
He's like the drug dealer, man. He doesn't get high on his own supply. Hey, do you have any tattoos?
None, dude. I even in the back in the punk rock days, I did. All my friends did it. I never did it.
Yeah.
My son's 22. He has several now.
Well,
Yeah, but no, yeah. And I fought him for half a second. I fought him. He made some good choices. I mean,
ultimately,
it's his.
the kids. I'm learning that I have an 18-year-old,
Uh-huh.
and you can say whatever till you're blue in the face. They're
Mhm.
gonna do what they're
Whatever.
gonna do,
Right.
and you just can pray, go, dude, take care of my kid, please.
Right.
Yeah, you know,
Absolutely.
I got an uncle that he's basically been one of my mentors. He's 10 years older than me, and I remember when I turned 21, and he said, oh, "Man, if I knew then at your age what I know now," and I'm like,
Be
"Well, tell
slaying
me,
it?
bro."
Would you be slaying all that poon? You're all shy, like over second guessing yourself. I know exactly what to do now.
Now, bro. First of all, take your time.
Exactly.
No, but I was like, "Hey, well, bro, tell me, give me a heads up." He says, "It doesn't matter. I can try it. I'll try it, but you're still gonna go your own path."
Yeah.
And it's true, bro. 10 years went by, and I'm like, "Yeah, you were right." And because now I was like, if somebody asked me, I can try it, but you're gonna go your own way.
And if you overthink it, you start to worry like crazy. Like, dude, you see all this stuff on the news.
Yeah,
You hear about, like, even growing up, the kids that were doing stupid things. And
Right.
you're like, I just hope that's not my kid. You know what I mean?
yeah. Well, it's funny. We had Mark Grant, the color commentator for the Padres, and we're talking about that. And there's only so much you can do. It gets to a point where you cannot just trust that you did enough, and now they make good decisions. And that's about it. Happened with us, right?
But one thing that worries me about that theory, they say it's the 5 closest people in your circle is that who you become more alike. So when you see your kid hanging out with certain individuals and there's certain friends that are good, and you're like, well, he's not going to school. This one's not driven. This one's doing this. And you're like sitting there going, dude, and you try to explain that to your kid, they're just like deer in headlights. Nah, Bob. And I'm like, you're on your own path, dude. Gosh, because I was there too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I can't, I have this this mentor, life coach type of person in my life, and they're like, your kid's doing exactly what he should be doing, and what every normal kid does at that age.
Mhm.
If you try to suppress that, you're gonna create a monster. Just guide them and give them love and try to express, like, yo, don't do this, try not to do that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's all you can do, because if you sit there and worry and dwell, you're gonna kill yourself, dude.
Absolutely.
Yeah. I remember before I got my kids, my first daughter was born. My mom told me, "Get a bunch of sleep, bro. Get a bunch of sleep, because you'll never stop worrying to a certain extent, but you'll never start worrying about your kids.
Yeah.
It is what it
It
is.
doesn't even matter. Like, from what I heard, even when they're older.
No.
They're always your babies. You're just
Always.
like, damn.
I got one graduating college this week, and
Yeah.
I got one going off to college in a couple months. So, and then
Wow.
2 boys. So
Alabama.
one going to
Bound.
Bama, one coming
Well,
back.
Roll
dude,
Tide.
that's awesome, though.
Yeah, it's cool, and it's like I think I got the best advice. I always tell this story to new parents from our pediatrician when the kids are little: be fair, be firm, and be consistent.
Mhm.
Those 3 were the best. I mean, and we were definitely firm and consistent.
Yeah.
I don't know how about fair we were, but
And even then, they still make some shitty
yeah,
decisions.
Oh, yeah.
but like
What
they're
the fuck,
that's
man?
their kids. I mean, I made a
Yeah.
yeah.
We got lucky, though.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
I know that I got lucky, bro.
I-
I got a bunch of my friends.
Yeah. Either dead or locked up, right? Shoot, man.
Yep. So I count my blessings. And
I think rock and roll and guitar playing saved my life. Because growing up in Logan, a lot of my friends, or even in National City, were gangbanging,
right.
or they were just all about getting girls and getting girls pregnant. Me, I was always like, dude, I'm gonna stay back. Why? I'm gonna play guitar. So people thought that was weird. Friday night, I just want to stay home and jam, because I was so focused on all these people. This is a young kid thinking,
Right.
they're gonna freaking know what's up, and then it'd be like, mouth jaw, and I was just had something to prove, dude. You know,
Where do you think that came from?
I think just like I was just talking to this one of my friends. He's becoming one of the top real estate agents in San Diego. He has the same sort of drive that we're talking about here. It comes from not being the cool kid, just kind of being the guy that flies underneath the radar. And you know, I think that's because I was like, you know, you're not the hip kid, you're not the jock, you're
Right.
not the one that, you know. And so when everybody sees like, what? Later, like, wow, I never would have saw this guy come out of. And if you look at most musicians, that's their story.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not saying the exact same
No,
as
no.
mine, but they had something because jocks were jocks. Most of them were studs in school,
Right.
high school. They were like
And
killing it in baseball or soccer or whatever.
Attention and a special
The
treatment.
girls were like, oh my god.
Yeah.
Musicians, on the other hand, you're partying, learning things about, you know, substances and going to shows and drinking, and
Right.
trying to find yourself.
Yeah.
But then also saying, dude, I want to rock some masses, dude. You know,
We had a Gato Felix from SM Familia, and he was talking about the fact, like when he started, he was like at school, he was playing the flute. Like he's like, bro, who's gonna say, hey, how come I'm gonna gravitate towards the flute guy? I want, you know,
Yeah.
But eventually, you know, you start doing your thing, but yeah, it's like a different way. Because you're right. I mean, jocks and they all by,
I don't
by default.
hate. I have a little son. My
that's-
little son's very athletic.
It is.
My older son's more tortured artist kind of guy too. But, you know, but
No, but that's the way it is. You know, sports and you become popular, and it's like a natural thing that happens. But if you're kind of kicking back, kind of in the behind the scenes,
you're trying to find yourself.
Right.
I had so many different hair colors. I had dreadlocks. I had a mohawk. I had so many different things because I was just trying to, I don't know if it was be noticed, but just kind of be like, have an individual, like, this is me. This is who I am. Take it or leave it. And F you. With an attitude.
You had a little bit, because sometimes they say, you know, when you start, especially when you're young, and we all go through that phase, but something like that, different hairs. Like some people say, well, he probably didn't have enough hugs when he was young. And he's looking for, you know.
And I did. I had a loving mom. And, you know, my parents got separated and divorced like anybody else's these days. But she was my mom and my dad. Me and my dad have made amends, and we're like best friends now.
Cool.
But, you know, he was going through his own thing. My mom, she's remarried now, and they're happy. I'm like, dude, you guys are happy. You guys just were salt. You guys are oil and water. But as a young kid growing up, you don't understand that.
You don't understand that. Yeah.
So you're trying to find your way, and then I would play sports, but I had nobody there teaching me, you know, other than the coach, and the coach is only spending so much time with the whole team.
Right.
So,
but it's funny, like
for me, music, I was in control. I was able to sit in my room, play, and try to be like those feelings that I had emotionally. I tell you this to this day. That was the best outlet for me. And that's why I really believe that it saved my life.
No, I get it. And I completely understand. And it makes a lot of sense. And because you said, even with the guitar, you said self-taught. So you didn't have somebody there, but the guitar was there.
Yeah.
And so.
And you hear it with Hendrix lyrics. You know, what's that one song, Red Hot? I don't know, he's talking about, or even Zeppelin. I hear my back door slam. I'm coming. It's like blues. But but I still got my guitar, man.
That's right.
He starts wailing on it. You know what I mean? Dude. And then once you realize that in itself was a magnet, you know,
Then
there's lowriders and badass cars. Chicks are like, oh, wow. But then you have the guitar. And, oh, hey, you play guitar? Oh, you're good at it, you know. And we're good with our hands.
I'm great with my fingers.
Hell yeah.
That's outstanding, man. Well, you've been on a crazy run, and I can't imagine all the stories you got. I mean, the ups and downs. But what's next?
Well, we have a streaming event. I'm not sure when this will air, but they're coming up, and we perform it at Petco.
Yeah.
And we're gonna do Satellite, the record from beginning to end.
Wow.
And then because it's
So
Satellite's 20th
yeah,
anniversary,
20, yeah.
then we're doing the album before that, the Fundamental Elements of Southtown, from beginning to end. And then we're
Nice.
doing rarities and B-sides with a couple of hits on the third set. So there's 3 sets. You can go on to mandolin.com and you can buy all 3 for a ticket, because right now there's no live shows. And
Right.
it's worldwide, and you'll be able to view them for 48 hours. So depending on your time zone. And yeah, man, it's just our way to give back to our fan base worldwide and say, hey, look, it's our 20th anniversary. We would be touring this album, playing it from beginning to end, but since we can't, here's our live performance, and we're doing it from Petco Park.
That is outstanding. What about that? Like, did you guys had to go back and practice? What was it for you to just, because I'm sure you didn't decide to, let's get together and play this. Did it take you back to the your band traveling days, your garage days, and all that when you guys
On the
were playing?
rarities and B-side set, yeah, there's songs that we've never played live ever.
Wow.
Like, on a record, you'll never, like, there's be a song that you like say Prince, or like any artist that you love, and it's not a single. They're never gonna play that song, but I love this song. There were songs like that we, as a band, were like, dude, I haven't played this song since we wrote it. And then there was songs that were like, we haven't played this song in over 20-something years. So when I went back as a guitar player, I was like, wow, relearning this stuff, going, dude, what the hell was I thinking? This is my, early 20s, or whatever. And I'm thinking to myself, what a trip. And it definitely takes you back, man, because you kind of takes you to that headspace of where you were in your life at that place, at that time.
It's like a diary.
Pretty much. Exactly. That's a great way to put it.
Wow.
So, yeah, man, I mean, and I think we're actually, if all goes well, our first tour of 2021 starts August 14th at Sturgis. And Sturgis is a big Harley Davidson rally.
It's huge.
South Dakota, I believe.
I think so.
One of the Dakotas. And we've done 4 of them already. But this time we're playing the big one. It's the Buffalo Chip. And
Hopefully by then things are a lot better. And because, that's...
I don't think the bike rally cares much.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
True.
But we get in there, and I ride. So
Nice.
we have a relationship with Harley Davidson as a band, and they've given us bikes and all this stuff.
Wow.
So we start the tour for the 20th anniversary Satellite tour. We're going to play that album from beginning to end at Sturgis, and we'll end it in the middle of October. If all goes well, we'll get through that whole tour because of the pandemic,
Mm-hmm.
and it'll be the first tour of 2021 and the first time we've played for people other than the streaming event in over a year and a half.
Wow.
Wow.
That'll be special.
Yeah, it's a trip, man. You don't realize you miss it because it's always a love-hate thing, because you leave your kids, you leave your family, and at the first 2 weeks, like, it's awesome, dude.
Yeah.
And then after like a month, and you have another month to go, you're like, dude, and you see everybody back home. This has always been my life. Everyone's barbecuing on 4th of July. And you'll see it on Instagram. You're like, dude, I want to be home so bad.
You're right.
And I'm over here in Timbuktu. And we're together, and we're like, let's go grab dinner, guys. So we end up having some drinks and then going to our hotel or getting on the bus.
And do it again.
Let's go to the show tomorrow. This holiday's passed. Or a birthday passes, and it's your birthday,
Right. But and then you gotta go out there and perform for those people and kids and why not as if it's your first time. You gotta give them energy because they bought a ticket and they're expecting
Exactly.
POD.
You know what's weird? A lot of people don't know that, but there's times when you have drama. You're a normal human at home. Something happened with a family member, a kid, or you got into a fight with your spouse, and then you're like, okay, tour manager goes, you hitting in 5 minutes, and you're like sitting there going, listen to me. You're on the phone like, I got to go on stage, but I'll call you when I'm done. Then
We're not done yet.
And in your mind, you're like upset. You're going through all these emotions, but you got to go out and put your face on for these thousands of people that are like, oh my gosh. And they don't know. So whenever you go to a show, nobody knows what that person is going through.
Right.
Ever. And I know that firsthand because I've been the guy. Or you're sick and you have to get on. The show goes on and you got the flu and you're out there sweating, and you're like, I gotta play this whole hour and a half right now. How many more songs? I feel like crap, dude. You know what I mean? So I'm not complaining. That's
it's just a fact.
That's entertainment.
And it's a fact. Now, what about that? Like the emotional side of things. Did you ever played with if you're, I don't know, angry or sad, whatever, and then it affected your actual live play?
We've had instances where we're like brothers,
Right.
and we've gotten into some stuff, and then
Right.
we have to get on stage and act like everything's okay. And I don't know if you ever saw the Eagles documentary.
Oh yeah.
Remember when they're like walking on stage and you can hear their mics are on and they're talking trash to each other? That's happened because we've been a band for so long, but that does happen, and it's hard, man, because sometimes you're like, I remember so long ago we were in like Fargo,
North Dakota.
and I was like, man, I don't even want to be here right now. I want to be home. And then we got into a bit of a scuffle, and I'm on stage purposely doing obnoxious things with my guitar, and the guys are turning around going, what are you doing, dude? So then when we got off stage, dude, you're messing it up for the whole band. You're messing it. Those people paid. And I go, I know. I just wasn't there today, dude. I was upset. I didn't want to be on stage. And somebody in the band pissed me off. I was like, screw you, man. But you have to learn. That was a learning experience for me. That's your business. That's your band.
Those people don't care.
They don't. And you're affecting them. Like, dude, I saw them. That guitar player sucked. He was freaking doing weird notes and not taking his show serious. And that's where sobriety comes in too. You hear about bands where the guys couldn't even play the damn show because they were falling over.
Right.
And the fans are like, oh,
come on, man.
Hell, man.
Yeah, man. Part of being a rock star.
It is, but yeah, you have to. It takes a certain special type of person to be able to do it as long as we have.
Absolutely.
And the four same guys. And we're like bros, man. And we've learned a lot. Like, we've learned, like, oh, this person's not feeling so hot. You feel all right, man? You need anything? And you just give everybody their space.
Yeah.
And then you treat them like your brother. Like, and that's comes with blood, sweat, and tears, bro.
Man.
You're in it together.
You guys been doing it for a long time.
I mean, there's so many stories. Like, we played with ICP. You ever heard of them? Insane Clown
Sounds familiar, but I don't think I'm familiar with
Insane
them.
Clown Posse.
Oh, yes!
Yeah.
Yeah.
There you go.
Now, there you go.
Ding, ding, ding.
We did a show in Boston, and I had just drank way too much the night before, and I had to go to ER. And I didn't think I was going to. They said if I would have drank a couple more, I would have died. I was with my ex-wife at the time, and she was I'll never forget, I had no clothes on. I puked all over myself. And I was sitting sideways with a bucket in ER, and she was sitting there like this, all pissed off, like, what the hell? Luckily, I ate a lot of food from the radio station. They got Chinese food, and it saved my life. But
Wow.
the story where it gets interesting is we had to play the show with ICP, Insane Clown Posse, and I by the time we got to nighttime, I slept all day. I was like, oh my gosh, I can't believe I'm alive. Which gave that song so much new meaning.
Right.
And I walk on stage, and we get out there, and it was like, you cool, man? We get out on stage, and the whole crowd is their crowd. FPOD, FPOD, FPOD. And we're just like looking at each other.
Oh, really?
And I'm like, wow. So I didn't care. I walked to the edge of the stage, and I start throwing my W's. West Coast, San Diego, right? So then we kick in a Southtown and all those songs, and the place erupts. By the end of the show, P-O-D, P-O-D. We won them over, dude.
Yeah, that's right.
But I was like so glad to be alive, dude, because I,
Went through that.
I drank too much, man. Like way too much. Like I was drinking. I kept saying 7 amaretto sours, 21 shots and 7 amaretto sours. Yeah, bad, dude. Rock and roll, right? But that was young, dude. I was 20, early 20s, dude. We got our first record deal when I was like 22, 21, 22, like in the early 20s.
Right.
So, you're just like having a good time. And then you just learn, now as we're older, we know, like, oh, I'm good, man. I drank too much.
Yeah.
We know how it's going to feel the next day.
Well, I didn't touch vodka. I still don't like vodka because of it. And it's been over 20-something years.
Yeah.
I smell, oh. there's a bad memory like with
Right.
vodka.
Well, it's funny you say that because I had a bad incident when I was like 15 and me and my partner did vodka.
Yeah.
Back in the day in Tijuana, we had that orange juice jersey. It was just not really orange juice.
Yeah.
Anyways, we did that and
Sunny
that
D.
was pretty
D.
much.
Tamarindo or not? What is that?
No,
That's an orange Mexican drink.
not the
Tampico.
Tampico. That's the one. But anyways, man, I was sick for like 2-3 days and really bad. To this day, I can't like vodka if it's just like my body has like a little defense mechanism, and like this is like
You smell
5
it,
years
it's
ago,
like, ooh.
and my brother drinks vodka tonics, and he was enjoying one. I said, "Hey, bro, make me one." And sure enough, as soon as it was here, I got like a gag reaction.
Yeah.
That's my body saying, "Bro, we've been down this road, homie.
Yeah.
We're not gonna go down again."
I can't do vodka since then.
Yeah, me neither.
It's memory, dude.
Yeah.
It's like my body's like, nah. I was like, no, dude, get that out of here.
Wild turkey was mine at 13.
Ooh.
Yeah. It snuck into the
Dude.
parents' cabinet, and me and my buddy started doing shots of wild turkey.
99-cent, 32-ounce King Cobras, dude.
There you go. There you go.
Castle Park, pounding those down.
oh,
My
yeah,
man,
Just
Castle
did-
Park.
Yeah, dude.
Trojan. Salute to
Yeah.
the Trojan.
Schlitz,
Yeah.
Mickey's, all that.
That
yeah.
and Cisco, man.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Oh man, but you know, it was I don't know. Like, we were young, man, and they said, "Hey, bring it on."
So, dude, what's next? Can I ask you guys a question? What's next with you guys, man?
All right, man, we were just gonna keep on rolling, doing this, man. Hopefully, start networking. We told you like we work on TV, but what we love about this is that it's not as structured as TV, and people can just be themselves and tell their stories. Like I told you, like. How many people say, "Fuck, man, Marcos Curiel up there doing his thing," but they don't realize that, bro. Like you said, you missed a lot of nights in Logan because you were doing your thing.
Yeah.
You know, it just didn't happen like that. You work for your stuff, and we all get good breaks sometimes, but you gotta work for those breaks to happen. I think.
Yes, there comes a lot of persistence, consistency, dedication, patience.
Yeah.
And when I got my first record deal, I was working at Hot Topic in Parkway Plaza.
Wow.
And I told everybody there, but the lawyers were going back and forth for almost a year and a half. So everybody's like, this guy didn't get signed. And I'm all, yes, we did.
Right.
And I'm all, whatever. And when we signed the papers, we went up to LA. We were like, what's different? We didn't feel it right away. It wasn't like they just rolled red carpet out. There's just like a bit. We go to our lawyer's office and we signed everything. We're like, hey, we signed it. Then when we were driving home, we are like, doesn't even feel like we're signed. It took so long. But, you know.
Anticlimactic, right?
Exactly, dude. Exactly, man.
Hey, man. But as I say, the rest is history.
Exactly.
Well, Marcos Curiel, thanks a lot for doing this, brother.
Man, thanks for having me.
Hey, man, it's been a blast.
Been
and
our pleasure, man. Thank you so much for taking the time.
dude, it's a great trip down memory lane for sure.
Yeah, you know what, man? Much success to you guys. Hopefully you guys get a ton more shows going and we'll do it again.
Yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely.
for
Absolutely. And then, we'll keep each other posted and whatever you guys do, let us know. And,
We'll cross promote for sure. And when you guys get back on the live tour, hopefully in San Diego sometime soon.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, for sure.
We'll come out and rock it with you.
All right. Sounds good.
hey, Marcos Curiel, thanks again. Muchísimas gracias. Hey,
That's
please subscribe to our channel. Like us on Facebook, Instagram at The Other Side Presents. And, man, we'll see you guys next time. It's been a blast.
If you want to stay connected with me, official Marcos Curiel on Instagram. And then that's pretty much where I'm at right now. And they connect to all my others, Twitter and Facebook. And also, if I post something on Instagram, it goes to all of those. So
We're going to hit you up on our site as well, and we'll have a little cross promotion there. So we thank you very much, and hit that subscribe button and knock out that bell so we can notify you when this show's coming up and others. So thank you so much.
all right.
And hit up my man here at official Marcos Curiel, man. And, man, we'll see you down the road. Thanks for doing
All right.
this.
Thanks.
Thanks, everybody. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time on The Other Side. We want to thank Mr. Marcos Curiel for such a good time. You can follow him at official Marcos Curiel. Please subscribe to our channel, download our podcast, check out our Facebook page, and follow us on Instagram at The Other Side Presents. Thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. Until next time, we'll see you on the other side.